Lady from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Pence, chairman of our Republican conference.
The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
I would ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And let me rise in gratitude to the distinguished Majority Leader, Mr. Hoyer, and the Minority Leader, Mr. Boehner, for bringing this important resolution to the floor. Bringing a bipartisan resolution to the floor is perhaps the best way to commemorate the bipartisanship that followed the extraordinary events of 8 years ago this Friday. I was here on Capitol Hill that day, as my colleagues were. It was just as pretty a day as it is today. And the shock and horror of the images on the television screens, the smoke rising from the Pentagon, still is with me today and informs my service in this building, as it does all of our colleagues. But let me say, today's resolution is important because, as the old book says, we're to mourn with those who mourn and grieve with those who grieve. And we're also to pay the debts of honor and gratitude to those that are owed. This resolution today remembers those we lost that day. And this nation should never forget the lives that were lost at the Pentagon, in the heart of our great city of New York, or in a field in Pennsylvania. So we remember them today, and we think of their families. But we rise to pay a debt of gratitude to all those who rushed in when others were rushing out, who filled recruiting offices, who put on the uniform of the United States and went and confronted this terror where it all began. And let us, as we grieve and as we mourn and we remember and we pay debts of gratitude, let us also resolve to continue to do all that we can to maintain that bipartisan commitment and that began on that very day and continues to this day, to make sure that our nation and our soldiers and those who protect us at home and abroad have the resources that they need to get the job done and come home safe. With that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back to his time. Without objection, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Ackerman, will control the remainder.